You can spend months and thousands of dollars for the perfect project and still never go to the track. The point is that the ready-made solution for your setup might not exist. In-the-box fixes are rare, part takes time to arrive and they don't fit, YouTube guides wouldn't give you 100% result, and making everything from the scratch is expensive, intimidating and full of risks. But it's the only way that gives you control instead of the compromises. Today we'll talk about where the custom work's absolutely necessary and where you're just wasting time, money and energy. This is Fresh X. Make sure to be subscribed and let's immediately get started.
Fresh X.
We've divided the key components of the race car on the three categories. Parts that you definitely should not reinvent, just buy them and install. Parts that you can buy, but you can do better. And the custom-only parts. We're going to break down the standard race car setup and the more complex one, using our flagship builds as an example. Just a reminder, we went with the pretty unusual way and built the Pro Z using BMW S58 engine. So let's dive into and let's talk about the engineering and the project logic of building. The buy or plug-and-play group includes everything that matches the stock functionality. For example, in our Baby Z we thought about making the custom exhaust, but it's fully full with the geometry of the stock VQ37 engine, so we bought it instead of reinventing or building ourselves. The same goes for rear diff, transmission, harnesses, seats, suspension, braking system, etc. It's pretty straightforward, so let's move to the engineering that you can buy, but you can potentially improve, or the ones that make it only custom way. So get ready to watch, because we'll show you directly on the manufacturing stages of building the drift car. Chassis is the first thing that you're preparing, and it needs to be prepared properly. So when you're working on the chassis, make sure that you're getting rid of the maximum components and reducing weight in a free way as maximum, because later you have to replace, for instance, aluminum parts to the carbon fiber to reduce weight, or in any other complex and not the free way. So when you're preparing body, firstly you're getting rid of all the unnecessary parts. How to know what's unnecessary? They're not structural. So for instance, this part just can be removed without any interference. This one, or in the engine bay. So this is part that wouldn't interfere the rigidity of the whole chassis and the whole body. So of course you're working with the super small parts like this one, so you need to get rid of too. But in a complex, in the whole system, you'll reduce the weight around 25 or even 30 kilograms. The last time it was 32 from our chassis, but of course it depends on the platform itself. And one more piece of advice: if you can and if you have an opportunity to plan ahead which body kit you're using, it is better to prepare your platform ahead too. So for instance, we know which body kit we use, and we just get rid of this part and that one too, of the rear part of the body. So to sum up, prepare it properly, get rid of unstructural components and make it as light as possible. Cage Firewall. This is obviously fall into the custom category. You just can't buy the ready ones. They're always made the specific motorsport discipline and the specific chases. For instance, in rally you can't use the chromo steel because of the risk of the high-speed crashes. But in drifting it's allowed. So there are a lot of companies that makes the custom cages for BMW, Nissan, Toyota, even to Corvette and Mustang. So when you order, pay attention for material, tube thickness, number of mounting points, and make sure that it meets the championship regulations, because they vary a lot from country to country. It is a bonus if your cage stiff but not so heavy, like 60 or 65 kilograms is fine. In our case, we built the roll cage that meets the several championship regulations and kept it super light. It's just 54 kilograms, and we showed how we produce it and what's for in this video, so you can check it there. Same for the firewall. It's custom fit, so no gaps and no leaks at all, and it fully protects the driver from the smoke and fire entering into the cabin. Both of these are available on our website, so link will be in the description. And now we'll move to the engine setup. You know what all drift cars owe to the Rolls-Royce and the aviation? This part of the modern race car actually came from the aircraft of 20th century. It was used to prevent oil starvation during the extreme angles, even when the place was upside down. The system works thanks to the multiple pumps and keep oil flowing and stop the engine from sucking the air. Yeah, we're talking about the dry sump system, and now it's the standard for all drift builds. Why it is important? Firstly, it protects the engine from the oil starvation under the G-forces, and second, it let the engine sit lower, improving the balance and the weight distribution. It is a common solution for 2JZ and LS builds, and basically it's the must-have. But even then, it's never fully plug and play. Of course, you still need to custom mount pipes, find pumps to set up and install it right. And it's more interesting when the engine doesn't match the chassis, like in our case. The stock oil pan of S58 is too bulky for Nissan Z chassis, so the oil pan doesn't simply fit. And that's why we made the dry sump for drift S58, and it's fully custom with the wiring. So let's move to the engine bay and see. It's worth modification, and it's absolutely required and necessary here when you have the one platform and the engine from another platform, like we have here with the S58. Initially, as you know, it's the BMW engine, so the BMW platform itself is longer and wider, but Nissan Z is not. So we need to redefine and redesign the system of the manifold with the downpipe, pipes, etc. But here is the good news. Often this pipe is making from aluminum or titanium, but we have more modern solution, and it is the 3D printing. And this one is absolutely necessary here because it's the banded form, and aluminum will be way harder to produce or nearly impossible. And it reduced weight a bit for our system. And why I'm always talking about the weight reduction? Because it's critical and it's necessary for the drift car and racing car at all. So if you have any chance to reduce weight and to make it less, just do it. Alright, with the engine side we're done. Now let's move to the undercar and talk about what gets modified there. Of course we buy suspension, but there is what 100% need to be customized. Steering rack, or more specifically the rack relocation. Here's the thing. When you shorten the steering arm to get the more steering angle, your tie rods start pointing down or outwards, which messes the control. And to fix that, it needs to be aligned with the steering rack again. And here's two ways how to do it. The low budget is to buy the steering rack relocator, and the high budget is to actually move the rack. You can buy the kit or do it ourselves, so we choose to do it our own way and make the setup. Most kits have the fixed position, but we decided to give the opportunity to move it further. So that gives us more flexibility to tune the geometry exactly how we want. So this one goes to the category we can buy it, but we did it better. Adapters and spacers. There are tons of small components and parts that they need to be customizing, like brackets, fittings, spacers, adapters, etc. Even something as simple as installing the brake system can turn into the challenge. For instance, the caliper might not suit the knuckle, and now we need to make the custom adapter. Sure, you can buy one of these from, for instance, Weissfab, but when you have the certain caliper. So if you have your setup that don't match the whole point, so you need to make it our own. That's why 3D printing, again, makes sense. So we made the version, check it, and make the adjustments without wasting money and time. And once it's perfect, we send it to the fabrication and machine to the metal. So if you're running the Weissfab suspension with the Wilwood calipers, you don't even need to design anything. Just go to the FreshX Marketplace, click the order, and it's done. And so now go to the interior build. Racing seat mount. Yeah, you can totally buy this one. Aftermarket is full of this descent solution, but in reality they often lack of the proper adjustment, and it can slide around, which is critical for drifting. So if you care about having the tough fixed position with zero movements and lots of mounting points for different seat width, then making your own it would be better way than the off-shelf stuff. And this is one case where the custom parts actually perform better because the ready-made solution don't always deliver 100%. So quick questions for you. Have you ever bought the plug-and-play solution and later regret and redo it? Drop your story in the comment, it's really interesting and we'll check it. handbrake mount. Since we're talking about interior, let's touch this part too. Sure, you don't have to make it by yourself, but there's the risk of the poor contact area and switching to different handbrakes because the part is welded but not screwed. So if you build your own, make sure it's bottled, not welded, that it gives you the wide contact patch with the chassis and stability. At the final stage of your build, it is really important to give your car the clean and attractive look. It's hard to admit, but no sponsors want to work with you if your car doesn't look good. They just don't want to associate their brand with the garbage or falling apart car. I'm sorry. So that's why the body kit is one of the main parts that solve the problem. There are tons of kits for BMW, Nissan, Toyota and other platforms, so you all have to just pick the design that likes you best. We took the different route. Since we built cars for Nissan Z platform, it is important for us to make the body kit that fits both 370 and 400Z. Plus, it gave us the chance to create our own unique design. Our kits are durable, they don't crumble, they are ready for vinyl wrapping, so for livery. No need to tweak anything, just install it, apply your livery and hit the track to win. Our kits come in fiberglass, carbon fiber and carbon Kevlar options, so you can order them right here following the link in the description too. So we've covered the main parts of the drift car and grouped it for the key components. We went through all the process from idea to the engineering and the finishing product. And now we know exactly which parts are necessary and enough to build for the race car at any level. By the way, all our products we've mentioned today is available on our website, so we left all the links in the description. We hope you liked this video and it was helpful for you, so stay tuned for the next episode and see you there at FreshX.